Carpenter, would you please call the roll?
Senators Aguilar,
Excused.
Baumgardner, Cook, Corum, Court, Crowder, Donovan, Finberg, Fields, Fields, Garcia, Gardner, Guzman, Hill, Holbert, John, Jones, Kagan, Kafalis, Kerr, Lambert, Lumberg, Marble, Martinez-Humenic, Merrifield, Moreno, Neville, Priola, Scott,
Excused.
Smallwood, Sonnenberg, Tate, Todd, Williams, Zinzinger, Mr. President.
Here. With 33 present, 0 absent, 2 excused, we have a quorum. Senator Court, would you please come and lead us in the pledge?
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the journal. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the reading of the Journal of Friday, January 12th, be dispensed with, and that the journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. Is there any objection? Seeing none, the motion is adopted. Senate Services.
Correctly printed, Senate Bill 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, and 83. Senate Joint Memorial 2, Senate Joint Resolution 3, correctly engrossed. Senate Joint Resolution 2, correctly re-engrossed. Senate Bill 27, correctly enrolled. Senate Resolution 1.
Consideration of resolutions. Mr. Carpenter, please read the title of Senate Joint Resolution 3.
Senate Joint Resolution 3 by Senators Baumgardner and Representative Arndt concerning approval of water project revolving fund eligibility list administered by the Colorado Water Resources and Power Development Authority.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to lay over Senate Joint Resolution 3 till Wednesday, January 17th.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that will lay over. Consideration of memorials. Senate Joint Memorial 1. Mr. Carpenter, would you please read the title? Senate Joint Memorial 1.
Senate Joint Memorial 1 by Senators Jones and Baumgartner and Representatives Singer and Thurlow concerning the need for Congress to fund catastrophic wildfire response costs outside the Federal Forest Management Agency's normal budgets.
Senator Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Joint Memorial 1 and ask that it not be read at length.
Request granted. To the memorial. Senator Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mr. President. And this is a memorial that we've heard several years. It's on the forest health and asking Congress to help with the catastrophic wildfire response cost. About 24 million acres of the forest and woodlands of Colorado, and which is about 2/3 are managed by the federal government. And we're just asking Congress to go ahead and consider the measures that they are considering and continue to help pay for the catastrophic wildfires that not only we have had, but we will probably continue to have because of the poor forest health that we have.
Senator Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, or Mr. President, excuse me.
Oh.
Way back, way back, way back.
Oh my goodness. This reminds me of a former event last year that we never actually settled, Senator Kagan. I will go into deliberations after the session today with myself, considering the fine that will be levied against Senator Jones. Please continue, Senator Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want you to remember we didn't read this at length. I hope that helps a little bit. Boy, that was quite the flashback. Basically, the federal government takes the money out of the Forest Service budget and the BLM budget, and if Senate or Congress doesn't do something about this, they're going to consume about 60% of that budget in a few years, the Forest Service budget. So they can't get anything else done like forest mitigation to try to reduce the hazard. They get into the recreation budget. And so Ellen Roberts and Jeannie Nicholson started this memorial a few years ago, and we just want to keep on the pressures that we can. They came very close to a deal last year. Senator Murray and Senator, McCloskey from Alaska worked together, bipartisan deal. And we're hoping that they can come up with some solution that doesn't undermine the Forest Service budget so they can do their job. So I ask for a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Joint Memorial 1? Senator Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I rise in support of this resolution, but since my colleague would like to demote you to the Speaker, I just want you to remind them that you are now a proud member of the Black Democratic Legislative Caucus.
And thank you, Senator Williams, for that. Any other discussion on Senate Joint Memorial 1? Seeing none, motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Joint Memorial 1. Are there any no votes? With 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Joint Memorial 1 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the morning roll call to be added as co-sponsors.
Is there any objection to the morning roll call being added as co-sponsors? Seeing none, the morning roll call will be added as co-sponsors. Signing of bills.
The President has signed Senate Joint Resolution 1 and 2.
Wow. Announcements. Here they come. Run, 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 run. Senator Donovan, you win.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, colleagues. It is my pleasure to have my turn at the mic to remind you all about supporting the Junior Livestock Auction. This is such an important thing we do, even though it is caught up in the busyness of the beginning of the year. Hope that you can find some money either in your campaign account or in your own checkbook and make a contribution that is meaningful to you. These kids are incredible that make it to this level. They may have started working on this project when they weren't taller than the calf that they were feeding. They may have started with a rabbit and have worked their way now up to showing a steer. So this is a lifelong project. I remember one of the most meaningful stories that I've heard from there is that the grand champion, when he was auctioned, that was going to put not just that kiddo through college, but all of his siblings as well. So these are significant, important dollars to these families, and I hope that you can be a part of the General Assembly being at the Junior Livestock Auction. Thank you, colleagues.
Senator Baumgardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I can't add much more than the good senator from Senate District 5 said. Again, this is something that goes to the child's education, help them pay for their education going on. It's one of the largest, one of the largest producers of capital in the state, agriculture. So if you can, please give. We do appreciate the contributions. So please see the good senator from Senate District 1. What district? 6. Senate District 6, 5, or myself, Senate District 8. Thank you, Mr. President.
Please add Senator Aguilar to the roll. Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. On a separate ag note, the Ag Council, which many of you know is the group of the ag organizations that meet every other Wednesday, is having an opening kickoff breakfast tomorrow in front of the Supreme Court chamber. You ought to drop by, if for none other reason that the rodeo queens that typically grace us in the session will be joining them before they come to our chamber tomorrow. So go down and have breakfast with Ag Council in front of the Supreme Court chamber.
Senator Corum.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a reminder this evening at the University Club, Colorado Mesa University, 4 to 6. They'd love to see you all there.
Any further announcements? Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, we will have some bills to read over the desk later today. You do not need to return. Thank you for your quick work on the floor, Mr. President. I move the Senate stand in recess until 1:30 p.m. today.
Heard the motion. The Senate to stand in recess till 1:30 p.m. today. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will stand in recess until 1:30 p.m. today.